How do you know when the woman you love is no longer building you up, but slowly breaking you down? It's rarely obvious. It doesn't come with fireworks, shouting, or a dramatic ending. It comes quietly. It comes in the little cuts you ignore, the small red flags you wave off, the excuses you make in your head just to keep the peace. One day she denies something you clearly remember. Another day she laughs off a boundary you set. Then weeks later, you realize you've been carrying guilt for things you didn't even do. Your time feels wasted, your energy drained, and the effort in the relationship feels one-sided. And here's the brutal truth. By the time you see it clearly, you've already lost a big part of yourself, because these patterns don't just steal your love, they steal your identity. They take the confident man you used to be and replace him with a shadow who's always apologizing, always doubting, always waiting for scraps of affection. 1. Reality twisting. It usually doesn't start with some loud explosion. It starts small, quiet, easy to miss. She says something one day, maybe a promise or a statement, and when you bring it up later, she looks you straight in the eye and says, "I never said that." At first, you laugh. You think maybe your memory slipped, but the third time it happens, something doesn't feel right. By the 10th time, you're no longer sure what's real and what's not. That's gaslighting in its rawest form. Gaslighting is psychological warfare. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about control. If she can rewrite your memory, she doesn't need to change her behavior. You keep doubting yourself, apologizing for things you never did, and questioning your own sanity while she keeps her grip tight. So let me ask you this. Why would you keep fighting for someone who keeps fighting against your peace? Why would you give your life to a relationship that chips away at your dignity one day at a time? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 undeniable signs that it's time to leave her immediately. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down, not after another round of excuses. Immediately, because the longer you stay, the more of your life you lose. And no relationship is worth losing yourself. Think about rust on metal. It doesn't eat away all at once. It works slowly, quietly, until one day the structure collapses. Gaslighting does the same thing to your confidence. It eats away at your certainty until you don't even trust your own voice. Here's the truth most men avoid. A relationship can survive mistakes, arguments, even big fights, but it cannot survive when your reality is constantly erased. Because when your truth becomes negotiable, your backbone is gone. And without a backbone, you're not standing, you're bending. So what do? First, anchor yourself in facts. Write things down. Keep records of conversations, agreements, and boundaries. Not because you're paranoid, but because you need to protect your reality. Second, when you call it out, keep it clear and calm. When I share something and you deny it, it makes me doubt myself. That damages us. If she takes responsibility and admits it, maybe there's room for growth. But if she mocks you, flips the blame, or doubles down, then you have your answer. She doesn't care about repairing. She cares about control. And control is not love. Every time you stay silent just to keep the peace, you're actually teaching her that your truth doesn't matter. Silence isn't peace, it's slow destruction. A woman who truly loves you won't make you feel crazy for remembering what happened. She won't erase your reality to protect herself. If you're always editing your words, watering down your feelings, or questioning your memory just to keep her happy, that's not love. It's corrosion. You deserve a relationship where your truth matters. And if you can't have that, then you don't have a partner, you have a manipulator. And manipulators never stop until you stop them. 2. Boundary trespassing. Your no means nothing. Boundaries are not cages. They're respect markers. They're the invisible agreements that say, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is how I expect to be treated. But the second you draw a line and she steps over it like it's nothing, understand you're not in a relationship, you're in a takeover. You tell her, I need some space tonight. She reacts with anger. You say, please don't check my phone. She laughs it off and does it anyway. You draw a line and she erases it. That's not romance, that's control. Here's the psychology behind it. When someone ignores your limits, they're sending you a message. My comfort matters more than your well-being. My curiosity matters more than your privacy. My desires matter more than your peace. At first you excuse it, thinking maybe she just doesn't understand boundaries. But if it becomes a pattern, it's not ignorance, it's intention. Now let's be real. Everyone slips up once in a while. That's human. But when she constantly dismisses your no, when every boundary you set is met with an eye roll or turned into a debate, then you're not building a partnership. You're being trained to accept disrespect. And the harsh truth, a boundary that you don't enforce is just a wish list. You can't keep saying, I won't accept this, and then fold the moment she pushes back. Because once you cave, she learns that your standards are negotiable. And a negotiable standard is no standard at all. So how do you deal with it? First, speak clearly. Don't hint. Don't soften it. Say, I need privacy with my phone. I won't tolerate yelling. I need time alone to recharge. Plain and simple. Second, enforce it with action. If she crosses your line, end the conversation. Leave the room. Refuse to engage until respect is restored, not with yelling, not with threats, just with consistency. Here's the mirror check. Have you drawn lines in sand and watched them get washed away? Have you said no, but later gave in just to avoid conflict? If you keep folding, you're not protecting your peace. You're teaching her that your boundaries are fake. A woman who respects you will test your limits, but once she knows they're real, she adapts. A woman who doesn't respect you will keep pushing until you collapse. And once you collapse, you lose more than the argument. You lose yourself. 3. Victim playing. You're always the villain. You've seen this script. No matter what happens, somehow it's your fault. She forgot to call. You should have reminded her. She snapped. You pushed her into it. She lied. You didn't love her enough. Doesn't matter what the situation is, you end up the villain in every story. That's not conflict resolution, that's victim playing. And victim playing is poison because it kills accountability. It turns every disagreement into a one-man trial where the verdict is always guilty. Here's the psychology behind it. Playing the victim is emotional armor. If she frames herself as the one who's always hurt, then she never has to own her mistakes. Sometimes it comes from fear of being wrong. Sometimes it's learned behavior. But whatever the reason, the effect on you is the same. It slowly breaks you down. You start asking, what's wrong with me? Instead of, what's wrong with this situation? And once that shift happens, your confidence doesn't just take a hit, it collapses because now you're living under the weight of constant guilt. So what do? Step 1, refuse to play the game. Don't argue for hours trying to prove your innocence. State facts calmly and walk away if she tries to twist it. Step 2, redirect the spotlight toward accountability. Say, I'll own my part, but I need you to own yours too. If she steps up, good, that's balance. If she doubles down, you've got clarity. And clarity is what you need. Here's the self-check. Have you been nodding along to accusations just to avoid fights? Have you been saying sorry when you know you weren't wrong? If yes, then you're not keeping peace. You're feeding the cycle. Every time you take false blame, you train her that she's always right and you're always wrong. A healthy relationship requires 2 adults owning their share. If she can't admit her part, she's not building with you. She's building on top of you. And eventually, that weight will crush you. Remember, you're not a scapegoat. You're not a dumping ground for someone else's guilt. A woman who values you will admit mistakes. She won't always get it right, but she'll at least try. If she never does, you're not in love. You're in a trial with no end, and the sentence only gets longer. 4. Time theft. Your time means nothing. Time is the one resource you'll never get back. Money, you can earn again. Energy, you can rest. But minutes, once gone, gone forever. And yet some women treat your time like it's worthless. She says she'll meet you at 7, shows up at 8 without apology. She cancels plans last minute but expects you to understand. She scrolls for hours but calls you needy when you ask for 10 minutes of her focus. At first you brush it off. You say, she's busy, she's stressed. But if it happens again and again, it's no longer stress. It's a message. Here's the message. Your life bends around mine. And if you allow it, that's exactly what will happen. Psychologically, respecting time is respecting value. Showing up on time says, you matter. Constantly being late says, you'll wait. And the more you wait, the smaller you feel. So what's the fix? Set a standard. Tell her, if we make plans, we stick to them. If something changes, I need to know early. You're not controlling, you're asking for basic respect. If she ignores it, don't wait around. If she's late without notice, leave. If she cancels last second, don't rush to squeeze her back in. But let's flip the mirror. Are you giving away your time too easily? Dropping everything for her while she barely makes space for you? If yes, you're teaching her that your time is cheap, and cheap things rarely get respected. Truth is, when a woman constantly wastes your time, she's showing you her priorities. If she keeps doing it, she's telling you, without words, that your life will always come second. And that's not love, that's disregard. A woman who truly values you will treat your time like gold. She won't always be perfect, but she'll show effort. If she doesn't, you don't need to ask why she doesn't respect you. You need to ask why you're letting her. 5. Effort hits. 0. She's already gone. At the beginning, she tried. She asked about your day. She dressed up. She planned little things. Effort was there, alive, consistent. But slowly you start noticing. It's gone. No more small touches, no more listening, no more showing up. She's there physically, but her energy's somewhere else. That's not just laziness, that's detachment. Relationships don't die in one night. They wither when one side stops putting in effort. And here's the psychology. Effort is the oxygen of intimacy. Without it, the bond suffocates. Now, sure, stress or bad weeks can explain a dip, but when it stretches into months, it's not stress, it's withdrawal. And no matter how much love you pour in, if she's checked out, you can't carry it alone. So what should you do? Ask directly once, I feel distance. Is something going on? If she opens up and shows effort to fix things, there's hope. But if she shrugs it off, denies, or keeps giving the bare minimum, then you have your answer. She's already decided. And here's where men fool themselves. They call it being patient. But it's not patience, it's denial. You're waiting at the grave of a relationship, hoping it'll come back to life. Meanwhile, you're draining yourself, losing energy, losing confidence, waiting for someone who isn't coming. Love isn't sustained by attraction alone. It's sustained by consistent effort from both sides. Without it, what you're left with is inertia. A woman who stops trying has already left in spirit. Her body might still be next to you, but the connection is gone. So you need to be brutally honest with yourself. Are you carrying this alone? Are you making excuses for her silence, her coldness, her lack of care? If yes, then you're not in love. You're in denial. Effort is proof of love. Without it, you're clinging to a ghost. And the more you hold on, the more of yourself you lose. The only solution? Let go, walk away, choose life over waiting. Let's bring this home. You've heard the 5 signs: gaslighting that twists your reality, boundaries that don't exist, victim games that drain your spirit, time theft that steals your life, and effort that disappears until you're the only one carrying the weight. These aren't little bumps on the road. They're roadblocks. And if you keep driving through them, don't be surprised when your car, your soul, breaks down. I want you to picture this for a moment. Imagine yourself 5 years from now if you ignore these warnings. Same arguments, same excuses, same empty promises. You're older, more tired, and you look in the mirror one morning and don't even recognize the man staring back. That's the price of staying too long in a place that feeds on your peace. That's the cost of ignoring your own truth. A lot of men think leaving is weakness, that walking away means you failed. But the truth, walking away is leadership, it's strength, it's saying, I value my sanity more than I value someone's games. Love is not meant to make you smaller. It's not supposed to crush your voice, your time, your identity. If it does, it's not love, it's bondage dressed as affection. And I get it, leaving is hard. You'll miss her. You'll miss the good moments, the memories, the comfort of having someone around. But remember this, nostalgia is dangerous. It only plays the highlight reel. It doesn't show you the nights you couldn't sleep, the mornings you woke up drained, the times you questioned your own worth because she convinced you that you were always the problem. Nostalgia is a liar. Reality is the truth. So the question isn't, does she make mistakes? Everyone does. The real question is, does she repair them? Does she respect me? Does she show up consistently? If the answer is no, then staying isn't loyalty. It's self-betrayal. And self-betrayal is the slowest, cruelest way a man can die. You've got one life, one shot at peace, one shot at being whole. Don't waste it waiting for someone to suddenly turn into the partner they've already shown you they're not willing to be. The love you deserve won't erase your truth. It won't steal your time. It won't gaslight, break boundaries, or drain you dry. Real love multiplies peace. Fake love subtracts it. So here's what I want you to do. If any of these signs sounded like your reality, don't brush it off. Don't say it's just a phase. Don't wait for change that never comes. Make the decision today. Choose yourself. Walk away if you have to. Protect your peace like it's your last breath, because one day it will be. Drop a comment below and say it out loud. I choose self-respect. Say it until it becomes your standard. And if you know a friend stuck in the same cycle, share this video with him. You might just save his life. I'm Olivia Rose. Subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a like, and let's build a community of men and women who refuse to settle for relationships that drain them. Protect your mind, protect your time, and never negotiate your worth, because leaving isn't the end. It's the beginning of you taking your life back.